We started back in 2014. Prior to that, I had a restaurant that I sold in 2013, and I was always frustrated with the lack of availability of locally sourced proteins. My proteins were coming from New Jersey on a truck from 1,500 miles away. We have some of the best farms and land in our backyard, and I just couldn't get anything local. That's kind of where the idea came from when I sold the business and went online and started researching Iowa beef, local pork. I found a couple companies who were doing business locally, and our pork is Duroc. It's all born, raised, and harvested in Iowa. We do a few different types of beef. We do a grass-fed beef from Dorchester, Iowa. We do a Wagyu beef. It's raised here down in Shenandoah, Iowa, Imperial Wagyu beef, and then certified Piedmontese, which is, they're out of Lincoln, and they're Nebraska-raised cattle. I'd always drive by this little shop, found out the farmer that owned it, and tried to lease it from him, and he's like, no, I said my employees come up here and use it to go to the bathroom every once in a while, so I'm gonna keep it. And so I came back like a month later and said, how about you let me lease it maybe again? And he said he was cool with it, so he leased it to me, and the rest is history, I guess.
TrueBridge Foods is one of the first farms that we started to work with very early on. I don't know when Jon took over the account, but he started to deliver all of theirs along with all of our beef. We get all of our beef from Imperial Wagyu, and Jon delivers all of that. We've just gotten to know Jon very well over the past few years, and he's a Cubs fan, and I'm a Yankee fan, but we like to talk a lot of baseball. The relationship has grown because Block 16 changes so often. We do a different special every day, and it's nice to be able to just text Jon. Sometimes at 1 in the morning when we've had a few beers and we're just like, hey, we need to put some smoked oxtail on something next week, and you can always count on Jon to reply. So what we're making today is our pulled pork sandwich. It's our first menu item. We've been open almost 8 years now. It'll be 8 years in November. And when we took over New York Chicken and Gyro, we had no money, and we just served what food we had. And then we'd make a little bit of money, and we'd buy some of our own ingredients, and then we'd run a special, or take an existing menu item and make something better. And this was the first time we actually had enough money to put our own menu item together. Someone described our food once as just simple, honest food, and this is very simple and honest. It's just slow-cooked pork, treated with a lot of love. It's mustard, pickle, cheese on a toasted roll, and it's awesome.
You know, Jon, TrueBridge and this pork, it was one of the first farms that we worked with at Block 16. We really had a good experience meeting with the TrueBridge Farms folks, and we really wanted to put something pork on the menu. We feel like it lends itself to a lot of flavors. So we came up with this pork roll. We both grew up eating pork and kind of tend towards the more acidic pairings with pork rather than the barbecue style. So that's kind of how this pork roll came to be on our menu, and it's still on our menu today. We've never taken it off.
Really?
It's one of our best sellers.
Stood the test.
It's stood the test of time. We're pretty happy with it.
That's good. They really are great people over there. At TrueBridge, they're veterinarians by trade, so like their first and foremost interest is animal welfare, which seems backwards. I mean, for a lot of today's companies.
That's right.
Because they don't care about the cost. It's animal welfare first.
That's one of our favorite things about owning Block 16, especially here in Omaha, Nebraska, is meeting people like you and getting to know the farmers. And it's really interesting that you run this company, but you, more often than not, hand deliver your product to us. That's important. It forms this relationship.
Doing what you love to do is pretty cool. It's pretty fortunate to be able to do that because a lot of people don't have that opportunity.
Well, we're happy to have you and happy to work with you. And we can't thank you enough for being so accommodating and having us out to your place.
McClelland's like the best place on earth. Quiet little sleepy town, 160 people. Gets dark at night, no street lights. And you got a train that runs by. I can give you the times on the trains. There's like 5 trains. The last one's at 11:04 p.m. It puts me to sleep. It's just a great town. You know everybody by name. Everybody will give you the shirt off their back any day of the week. They'll help you move. They'll help you do whatever. So I think I'll be here for the rest of my life. It's a good little town.